Yeah. Government, that's the bad religion. Welcome back to the Patrick Riggins Show on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and locally on News Talk 98.7 WOKI. Just plug Hal's show there in the morning. If you don't listen to the commercials in between, you don't know what I'm talking about. But that hot sauce of truth on the hot sauce of talk on the taco of truth. Did you catch that, Jay? He's in the other room. I don't know if he caught that commercial or that promo there.
The hot sauce of truth on the taco of talk.
Taco of talk, yeah. Oh, you know, I would almost get up and listen. I don't get up that early to listen to him, but just to hear what that was. Yeah, I'm just not going to say anymore because I could go just so many different places with that. So, starting off the segment, I want to pick up a couple of other ideas off the article we talked about at the beginning of the show. See, that's going to be running through my head now, this whole segment. All right, here we go. What I want to remind you is, just last week, we talked about how the Republicans are going to co-opt these libertarian ideas and talking points to try and get your vote. This is the same thing Democrats do when they start talking about tax cuts or kicking around Al-Qaeda or any of the other hot-button semi-conservative issues. They talk the good game to pull votes off the Republican side because their base knows they really don't mean it. But a lot of Republicans who are fed up with their party leaders then jump ship to the Democrat side because, hey, they said they're going to cut taxes. They said they're looking out for me, the little guy. But then when these people get into office, these so-called conservative Democrats forget all about that and toe the party line when it comes to spending more and more money. Then these voters feel betrayed because, once again, here's another politician who didn't do what they promised to do during their campaign. The Republicans do the same thing. Just ask the Tea Party. They work their behinds off to get a lot of these people into office, these Tea Party Republicans. But for some of them, when they get there to Washington, all of a sudden it's time to compromise and strike deals. They forget all about the people who worked to get them into the office. This is why you got so many Republicans sitting at home during the last presidential election. They look at their party and say, your answer to Obama was Romney? Is there really any difference? I played clip after clip from Romney last year before the election, talking about how he didn't want to get rid of the government meddling in health care. He just wanted the government doing it his way, the Republican establishment way. I've got it around here somewhere. Let me bring it up on the computer. Okay, here's two clips from the many I played last fall before the election.
I say we're going to replace Obamacare, and I'm replacing it with my own plan. I'm not getting rid of all of health care reform. Of course, there are a number of things that I like in health care reform that I'm going to put in place.
Yeah, he didn't want to get rid of health care reform. No. The government most definitely needs to be sticking its collective nose into that business. Anytime the government does that, things only get better, right? I mean, come on. I just can't understand why Mitt couldn't get elected. Just can't understand why so many Republicans don't see a whole lot of difference or didn't see a whole lot of difference between Obama and Romney and decide to stay home and not vote. Of course, now, just like I told you back then, the conservatives are all out telling us that the government shouldn't be trying to meddle in the health care field, that Obamacare needs to go. But when Romney's running for president, Romney cares just fine. They didn't have any problem with the government sticking its nose into your business then. Yeah, we got to support our guy. Got to support Romney. He's the man for the job. But now, nope, government needs to get out of the healthcare field. It's really funny because all these people don't see this as hypocrisy. Honestly, don't think they see anything wrong with supporting Romney and his disastrous plan for our healthcare system. But now they're fighting Obama on his disastrous plan for our healthcare system. The only difference is one guy's a Republican and one guy's a Democrat. They're both wrong. They're both on the wrong side of this issue. According to the latest polls, Americans don't want this government meddling. Heck, even Rush Limbaugh this week was touting that now he's on the side of not replacing Obamacare with a Republican plan. I mean, come on, like he wasn't supporting Romney in the bid to become president, right along with his Romney care. Like he wasn't doing everything he could to get old Mitt elected. It seems as if he couldn't quite convince those Republican voters who didn't buy that charade to get out and vote for the Obama clone. Now, the reason I bring this up, I got this clip sent to me from Rush's show just this last week. And the reason I play it is I just want to show you, well, how right I am in telling you about what the Republican Party is going to be doing. Here's the clip here.
So it seems here that the Republicans have an alternative. It is not a plan to repeal. It is a plan to replace it. Now, I'm going to make a wild guess that most of you don't want any of this replace business. What you want is let's repeal this and then start from scratch. That's just a wild guess on my part. I could be wrong about it.
You see, even now he still doesn't get it. People don't want it replaced. They want it repealed and then to not start over. They don't want anything starting from scratch. Just leave it alone. Can't you conservatives understand that? Just leave us, the American citizens, alone. You claim you understand, but you really don't. And the reason is really simple. If you left people alone, you wouldn't have anything to do. Because minding other people's business seems to be what you do best. Now, I'm not talking about the rank and file conservatives. The people who are, I think, are really leaning more towards libertarianism. They just don't know it or for some reason don't want to admit it. Let me define this for you real quick. A conservative means that you want to use the government to enforce conservative values on society. You want the government establishing behavioral norms and protocols and codify all that in law that everyone else has to live by. It doesn't matter if they're hurting anyone or not. You think it's wrong, so it should be labeled as such and thus not allowed. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you're really no different than a liberal. Your ideas and definitions of what's normal are different. You don't seek to have people behave in the same way, but you do want them to abide by what you think is correct behavior, regardless of whether it's hurting anyone or not. That's what a liberal wants as well, to use government to impose certain societal standards on everyone. And that isn't what American freedom and liberty is all about. I know it's been sold to you as that, but it isn't. True American freedom and liberty is currently residing, well, for the most part, in the Libertarian Party. There's some libertarians in the Republican Party trying to pull them back towards more freedom, and there's a lot of people within that party fighting them on it. The Tea Party is another political organization that's working towards more libertarian-type candidates as well. If you look around, you'll see the winds of change starting to blow in our direction. That's why you have all these conservatives starting to parrot the talking points of libertarians in the hopes of attracting voters or audience members in the case of television and radio hosts. As I've mentioned before, though, make sure you aren't fooled into believing these people have all of a sudden turned over a new leaf. That yesterday they were pulling for Mitt Romney and having the government interfere in your life the Republican way, but now they're all about libertarianism and getting the Democratic government out of your life, only to put government back in your life every way they can when the Republicans are in charge. These people want it both ways. When their guy is in office or running for office, government-managed health care is an excellent idea as long as it's their guy's plan. Now, when their guy loses, now all of a sudden they're all libertarians and want the government out of their lives. It sounds a little bit like this guy we know and love so well.
I actually did vote for the $87 billion. Before I voted against it,
All right, we're up on the half-hour break of the Patrick Regan Show on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and News Talk 98.7 WOKI. When we come back, we'll have even more fun and excitement right after these messages from the people helping to bring you this show. Join us here in a little bit.